Namaste, Galactic family. Welcome back to the channel, guys. IndigoAngel, come on in. We are calling in the angels, okay? We are calling in the Ophanim. We are calling in the thrones. We are calling in the seraphim. We are calling in the Elohim. We are calling in the archangels. We are calling in the virtues. We're calling them in, guys, because, yeah, wow. I have to say, it has been quite the tumultuous gateway, okay? Since we pushed through that intense Lion's Gate. For me personally, and I know for many of you as well, it's we're just really starting to feel good to kind of be on the other side of it. Many on my inner circle were just deeply struggling, energetically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually through this gateway, from finances to deep relationship troubles, to traumas, to acts of betrayal, to anger, to sabotage, to death in the family. It's just been one thing after another for me and so many people that I know. So, a lot has really been coming up, a lot that has been being suppressed from within inside us is coming up. Everything is being seen, everything is being felt deeply from the pain body. And it just really feels like a universal force, a universal reordering, universal shuffling of the deck. A lot is just radiating through us right now. There has been high electrical activation blowouts. So much of our paths right now are being completely realigned. Things that we didn't want to realign ourselves, things we didn't want to look at ourselves, are being forced and pushed into the coming of the apex, the coming of the fork in the road, the coming of the split, the coming of the cataclysm, the coming of the fire, the coming of the transformation. And we can't stop it. It is literally tearing down within us what no longer serves. And then it's going for complete rewrite of our DNA, scrambling of our DNA fire codes. We're getting full restructuring of the geometries and the light body. There have been so many days, I can't even tell you, over the last week that I just feel like gravity has completely released from my body. And it comes after a lot of ego death. It comes after a lot of shattering of the old world and dismantling of the old systems. And I just really couldn't even feel the weight of my body anymore. I was walking around what felt like a ghost, in a hologram, in a heart still at the same time. Just felt like I was floating across the floor, and the wind and the water didn't, no matter what it was, my body lifted up and released all the gravity. So that's been integrating back in over the last few days. But I think what's going on right now for me and for so many is that we're just really receiving a deeper wake-up call in our lives right now, a call to make bigger changes in our lives. There's been many that I think are graduating out of these degraded timelines into higher ones. We're shifting up. Okay. It may not feel like it, even as I say it right now in the moment, but that is truly what is happening. It was a huge dissension vortex that had to get to the pit of the shadow, to the pit of the underworld, to the pit of the darkness. And it had to work to really dismantle from a lot of these core wounds. Major transformations, major changes taking place, major waves, a collective awakening is stirring across the grids. So how I kind of seen us passing through the Lion's Gate and then all of the events that have come to ensue from there is that this was a collective awakening event like we haven't seen in a long time. Okay, this really supersedes 2020, 2021, 2022. Maybe not 2020, but the last couple years. And we're entering these phases of the breakdown in society as it is currently happening right now, you guys, from major global grid events taking place all over the world. It means that these energetic fields, as they get more destabilized, outer and inner conflicts and planetary chaos increases. We have to be aware of these processes that we're going through as we go through them, so we can be more prepared to take on the challenges as they arise. And so it's an imperative part of the process, because we can literally lose our way in these processes for days, for weeks. Okay, the pedal goes way down to the metal inside of our bodies, inside of the Earth's body, inside of the planetary field, inside of the firmament, inside of these fragile, delicate grids, magnetic fields, okay, that are just being damaged and degraded. And so many people right now are just unaware that humanity is in an active spiritual war taking place on multiple fronts. And so for many of us right now, it feels that we are being held hostage. I don't know how many times I could tell you I pulled the Fool card. I don't know how many times I could tell you I pulled the Hanging Man. I don't know how many times I told you, or I could tell you I pulled the Seven of Swords, okay, the betrayal cards. It's like we are being held in hostage situations, strange situations of wait and see, suspension, limbo, a revolving door. So right now, what's required of us is patience and trust, where the trust has been damaged for so long, for so many at this time, in universal aid, angelic aid. That's why I was just singing to you guys a second ago. Calling all angels here to guide you. Because it's like, don't forget about what is working for us on the side of the light. Okay, this divine assistance that we are that's truly here, but the presence can slip. The presence can feel like it diminishes, and like we completely disconnect and fragment from source. And that's when we're majorly out of alignment. Many of us have been majorly out of alignment through the Lion's Gate. Okay, a time that is typically so darn fruitful and joyous and generous and loving and celebratory. It was tough. So a lot of us have been held in the voids of nothingness. Some of us may feel isolated. Some of us are feeling imprisoned. Some of us are feeling immobile, while many people around us still just do not register that we are in an active spiritual war that is raging against everything that is authentically human, authentically free, authentically connected to spirit, the land, the earth, to God, to source, to the guardians. And as it's been mentioned several times, this is a time when we will suffer casualties in this war. And that's what we're seeing right now, guys. People, places, locations, Maui, Hawaii, Corfu, Portugal. Things can come apart at the seams because of how intense everything is right now for so many. Okay, for the world, for the sun, for the planets, for the planetary warfare, for the cosmic warfare. The masses are believing all of this propaganda, streams of lies and deceit. And it's weird. So many are being subdued into these unnatural frequencies, these inorganic energies berating on their templating. And I have to tell you, it has been affecting me so much, you guys, so much that I have needed to take some time from doing sessions. I had a bunch of sessions booked for the month of August, and I just have had to deeply pull back and preserve some of my energy. So this is an update letting you guys know what's going on with me. I really had to get into focus on the basic aspects of my own personal spiritual work, like really getting back down to the basics, back down to the body, back down to breath. And so I hope you have too, because I think this is where a lot of us have been, is in coming back to the basics. And if you understand the immensity of everything that I'm speaking of globally, spiritually, with what's happening around the world with all of the fire and transformation, you'll know how important it is to go back to recentering, going back to the 0 point field of gravity, essentially. I've been basically sitting under a tree for about 3 days straight. No joke, you guys. I could not hold on to normal reality. Nature was the only thing at this time that is soothing me and has been soothing me. So if you are somewhere in a place that I am in, I really suggest getting underneath the shade, getting underneath that tree, get underneath that oak tree, that willow tree, that palm tree, whatever it is. And just let the negative ions come up from the earth and rehabilitate your bioenergetic field. Also, if you're someone who has booked with me, or you're looking to book a session with me, I will be picking up after September 10th, 2023. I'm going to open up the following 2 weekends. I did reserve them off my schedule, but I'm going to open them up to make up for all of the reschedules and any new sessions that want to be booked. And so I just want to apologize to those of you who have been waiting on me. I have really just needed some personal time to work on my own energy. And it's the thing is you never know sometimes when these things are going to hit so hard, right? Where it's like, I have to slow down. I have to take some days where I can just be numb if I need to be numb. You know what I mean? Let the emotions roll through. Let the emotions show me what they're going to be. Let the emotions reveal themselves. Feel everything, not turn to substances, not turn to addictions, right? And really have to go through the pain body of processing this stuff. So it's been mostly grounding, it's been mostly resting and meditating a lot, going into full self-love mode, self-care routine. I hope you guys are doing the same if you're feeling it. It's really, really important that we go back into those nurturing mantras of self-love. They can really do wonders. So the overall collective messages are, it's been to detach, it's been to slow down, it's been to take one day at a time, it's been to recenter one's own field, get serious about your health, make your own soul a priority, baby your freaking central nervous system with some magnesium, baby that digestive system with some ginger, baby that lymphatic system with some garlic. I mean, whatever you got to do, take care of these systems in the body with gratitude. And the fundamentals of connection with the angels and God and the guardians. I have some close personal friends that are going, into the medical tyranny programs because of health and things like this. And it's like, don't forget the power of prayer. Don't forget the power of your angels when you need to call them in to heal. Okay, because we are really at a tipping point collectively. Okay, I haven't spoke out in the last couple of weeks about current events. I'm going to speak out a little bit today about, what is happening anywhere now between now going on and during the height of the timeline wars, which will and are going to be big global type of events. Okay, these are going to continue to be dramatic. These are going to, they can no longer be hidden from the mainstream population. They're going to see it and they're going to know it. Okay, this is what collective awakening is truly about. It is ascension for everybody, no matter where their DNA, evolution, and biological ascension processes and markers actually are. Everybody's getting a level up with this stuff. Okay, so we're seeing the heating up that is happening now with these smaller events, with Hawaii fires, with Portugal, with multiple ET and UAP sightings and meetings, with Congress over dark secret military operations and ET advanced tech. This is the important phase of the falling dominoes and wild cards, essentially to the controller artificial matrices, and noting that the controllers have been doing all they can to hide the truth. and subvert this benevolent agenda, redirect and distract the masses so they will not figure out what is happening and who is behind all of the divide and conquer and bioweapon psyops, psyop after psyop after psyop. Those of us that can still think in this fog, those of us that can still think in this mass harvested, polluted loosh of war, can clearly see the injection symptoms are the promoted variants. Okay, the intensity of transformation of this gate system in Hawaii and Lemuria, okay, has systematically seemed to dissolve several layers of old matrix templing from within me. I couldn't figure out why I was going through what felt like a complete whiteout of my consciousness for days on end, unforgiving, unrelenting from within the grids, from within the angular Lemurian templating, from within the inner earth gate sites, where all these walls of old reality have just been completely dismantling, you guys. As miserable as it can be at this time, watching the harm and devastation that is happening in the world at large, and in the fact humanity is going to have to recover from PTSD from all of what is happening, what has happened and has continued to happen, living through a real-time genocide. So something has come into my field of awareness that is something I've been wanting to talk to you guys about, that I feel is really, really important to touch on this topic. And I want to caution you on any plants, okay, or any opinions, especially coming from anyone who doesn't have a substantial set of evidence or background where they have been vetted and credible to be sharing on Gridwork or technology, that they want to blame these events, these fires, these battles for disclosure on Gridwork malpractice. Okay, this is a new thing that's running through the fields of awareness, through the consciousness, through Facebook, through social media. I want to thank my Starseed sister, Marvina, for bringing this to my awareness, to my consciousness. But I want to caution you to be bringing in this real negative perspective of Gridwork malpractice that seems to be redirecting the blame for things that are happening globally on their fellow starseeds. Okay, this is not guardianship aligned. This is not how guardian consciousness behaves and acts. It does not turn against those putting in the work. So do not allow this into your field. These are controlled opposition narratives. Okay, these are engineered narratives. These are engineered relationships. These are engineered perspectives that are trying to infect the grid worker community at this time, claiming that ones working on the stargates of Lemuria and Hawaii do not have the accurate ascension codes to be accessing the gates for clearings. I can guarantee you, if someone has been called to access the gate to clear, that their DNA has evolved to do that. Okay, this is about trust. Again, what has been lost with the divine, what has been lost with universal energy? Trust. Okay, and when we lose trust, fear comes back in. It is obvious that we clearly can see that these events have stemmed from a bereavement of directed energy weapons that are shooting down directly vertically and perpendicularly to the sites. They have all kinds of images of these directed energy weapons and crafts that are shooting laser beams. Okay, frequency fences, typhoon funnels. The reignition of blue beam technology kicked off rampant 2 weeks ago, and we all knew this. They're running this from underground bases. There is underground bases in Maui. There are gray technological underground bases in Maui. It is so subverted and perverted and inverted with dark alien negative tech because of what those lands are, because of what those lands represent. We know the height of the shadow military government involvement, Willy Wonka involvement. there's a lot that's been happening here. There's extermination. Again, live, active warfare, timeline, genocide. The lands of Hawaii are encoded to the core world wounding of genocide. You guys know the story. I have extensively written about the history of Lemuria in Hawaii, in the Pacific Ocean. And I don't know if I want to go into that today. Maybe I will do another video about it. Drop it down in the comments if you guys want me to go over all of the Holocaust, genocide, forced breeder programs, all of the sexual misery programs, all of the Anunnaki, Draco, and various races that are displaced races, that are refugee races, okay, that come in from these war degraded planetary systems that have lost their homes. They've come through wormhole systems, okay? These areas, these lands are under attack. Okay, so yeah, drop it in the comments if you want me to re-go over the history of these locations, because I've done a lot of extensive work here. Implant removal is necessary in people, in humans, in men, and women. When it comes to repairing Lemuria, it's not just about working on the grids, it's about working on our bodies and the implants that we've acquired from the degradation of hybridization programs. What we're seeing right now is humanity is deeply enduring a hidden multidimensional battle for disclosure, which is gradually happening as the collective consciousness shifts into higher dimensional planes as a result of the ascension cycle. What we just went through the Lion's Gate is a result of the ascension cycle. It's only ever going to get more intense. Hence this intensity through the gates that used to be seemingly joyous are now coming through hellfire and the wrath of God and nature, the wrath of the dark military, the wrath of the envious and jealous gods, the wrath of evil, okay, enmity that has come between us and purity in our original angelic bodies. It is so evident that there is a hijack of the disclosure movement, okay, in order to gain total control over how this particular thing is being viewed and seen. Okay, again, the plants coming in to plant fear, to plant the conception of grid worker malpractice. Let's get real, guys. Let's get real. Okay. This is about gaining total control over how these particular things are being shared with the public. The plants are closer to home than you think. They are in your groups. They are in your communities. They are in your friend circles. Don't let the fear come in and wipe out all of the progress that we have done. This is occurring by spreading of familiar narratives, okay? So they just alter the narratives. They alter and adjust it to the genre and the collective minefields, the shared minefield waves, using the same propaganda tactics that are for the purpose of psychological manipulation of the intended audience and the key players in all of this, okay? And for right now, the grid worker community has had a level of infiltration. So be vigilant, be aware of who these plants are. Controlled opposition is the predictable manipulation tactic of placing key people in key positions into leadership roles of particular movement, who many times have suddenly appeared and offered the public incredible facts or amazing nuggets of truth after they are random and have quick come up out of nowhere. Like, where the heck did that person come from? I think they're placing pundit personalities looking to gather a large online following through disseminating the global effort of grid workers and the base of their faith. Or it's a guru personality offering DNA activation and the ability to manifest anything you want as a result of their methods to deliver this level of information. They gain power and influence from the amount of people that they have gathered. And so power and influence are forces gathered through which they become a Pied Piper, a person that is celebrated, worshipped, or made into a hero. Okay, so they're trying to pull the gullible people into any direction. They're trying to place a wolf in sheep's clothing to derail and hijack the original goals of these movements, which are for the healing and the clearing of the earth body and for raising the consciousness of the land. The strategy of controlled opposition works best under the circumstances in which the masses are gullible, okay, lack critical thinking, all torn up in their emotional and pain body, vulnerable because of low vibration and fear. This is where it all comes in, you guys, where people are unable to connect the dots and see how the actions and inactions and manipulation of the information from the controlled entity is actually benefiting the controlling entity. What I personally have been seeing is when it comes to Maui and Lemuria and the fires, is I've been seeing inorganic black holes that are rips in the time-space fabric within the fabric of the grid structures. Okay. And so, I mean, we've been working diligently to constantly repair and implant and seal removal practices these rips and tears in the space-time continuums. You know, this is from pollution. You know, this is from nuclear devastation. You know, this is from the trigger events that seeded the memories of the core world wounding into the land to prevent these space-time holes from healing. Just waiting for the collapse and enough time to go by for those black holes to collapse down. In the meantime, we're just weakened to the planetary atmosphere and how much more we're going to allow the access to dark alien technology to interfere, okay, as a dark force in the infection of our world. Clearly, the negative were well aware that greedy controller humans would abuse these technologies, not having any recollection to their amnesic cycles, to their original core world wounding, to their genetic modification and manipulation, setting the stage for the next advancement of technological warfare against the Earth during critical years of 2023 and 2024. These are critical years. These are pivotal years of massive change and really on a bigger global scale in terms of Golden Age, New Age, Turtle Island, Dove Grid, Swan Grid prophecy. It's just a part of the transformation. It's just a part of the change that we are in the time of change. But through this comes speculation, and through this comes evaluation, and through this comes the breakdown of how we get there, which again is through this tumultuous timeline. So in the end, humanity does prevail in a much better timeline where the truth is able to be spoken and where we regain our freedoms when emerging into a completely new version of this reality system. That's what's happening right now, you guys. Oh, it's a beautiful thing, but a scary, sad thing at the same time. This is truly what we're working to be liberated now. And this is why I'm sending the message that if anything the world needs right now, it is grid workers. It's grid workers the most. Maui, Portugal, okay? The fight against the dues, the fight against the dark military and ET dark tech. All coastal regions need the clearing the most. This is what is being scouted for infiltration the hardest. It is the spaces where the water meets the land's edges. Okay, this is where we need the most global spiritual assistance now. So I just want to say, I think there has been a lot of divine intervention that has moved my grid work from the Lionsgate event to August 21st. And I think that's because there has been more deeper unfolding that needed to withhold, okay, and process. And see where we needed to actually focus on. So if you were planning on joining me for the Lionsgate, just know that's been moved to the 21st. And if you would like to still come and join for this remote session, it's now going to include restorative work for Maui and Portugal, the Lemurian body, along with other coastal regions that are being highly impacted with the negative alien technology, with the dark alien tech, with the dark military, with the controllers. And so we are seeing a play in real time. Guardian interventions are sweeping the revolution of the grid worker rise into 2023. This is what's happening, you guys. Those of us that are doing this work are taking, again, a beratement, a deep attacks. So we have to push through. I'd love for you to join me. The links are going to be down in the description if you'd like to join me for August 21st for the coastal shore clearing. And thank you to everyone who has been able to make adjustments with my schedule, has been able to be flexible with my new days and times, and just the understanding of what's going on collectively and energetically and individually and personally for us and for me and for so many. That's all I really have to say is even with my reschedule, so many people are like, yeah, me too. I'm going through it too. Like, it's okay. So it's real heavy right now, you guys. I just woke up this morning too. My friend losing a loved one, a close loved one. So it's intense, but there's still a lot of great things coming. We have to keep this fight for the light. And so I wanted to mention that I'm so close to my course launch as well. That's going to be kicking off August 31st. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to do this course with those of you that have taken the leap to come and get this revolutionary knowledge and technology of implant and seal removal. The course that I have designed to train the facilitator and instructor with all skills necessary to remove implants and seals to 4 different implant and seal systems. This is going to be a high-level Mastery Instructor Attunement, 6-day, 2-weekend live class calls in September 2023. I already have so much amazing stuff posted up to Thinkific right now. You can already go in if you already signed up for the course and start downloading things that I have posted for the classes to study. So there's going to be a lot of templates for you to be able to use for instruction, for your business. And so I hope that you guys register now for a guaranteed spot. You're going to be able to deliver this powerful implant seal and removal for your clients, students, friends. Become an expert on removing these negative holographic and light body blockages. These skills do apply to grid work. And so we need more people clearing that shared akashic galactic history, clearing out these root races. I also highly recommend to watch the remote viewing video that I just posted up as well. Last video that I did. This is absolutely a recommended study for the implant and seal removal course. You will really want your remote viewing skills to be strong within the psychic body for the attainment of this facilitation. I also want to offer you guys a 10% off coupon code to the course that I'm offering for a short time here. And that coupon code is also removal 10, all one word, no spaces, no capital, removal 10. This will be down in the description as well. This gets you 10% off the course. And I just wanted to answer a quick question as well to some of the most common questions that I get about implant and seal removal. So one of the questions that I often get is, once you remove all these implants and seals, am I cleared for good? And I want to tell you that the answer is yes, you are now clear. There are no more worries. I used to tell people this. Okay, I used to say that for a long time in the beginning. You are now restored and should see improvements and shifts and changes over the next 36 hours. This is true. But what I have come to learn over repetition and practice and facilitating over 1,000 J-seal removals is that you can and will continue to see more clearing and more results if you implement this removal system as a practice versus a one-time removal. And I tell this to myself, I do this for myself, tell this to my clients. This is because these are planetary distortions. Again, what we're healing, what we're clearing, why these fires went off down in Maui is because of the seals, the implants, because of the core world wounding, because of the technology, right? Collective programming. These implants and seals distortions can and will resurface through planetary shifts and alignments, through mass, collective, and renewed PSYOP campaigns, implementation of the very profoundly hooked running of frequency fences, negative alien technology, blue beam technology, particle accelerators, you guys. HAARP, calendrical and holiday systems, etc. It's all part of the overview of reality in which humans live and operate, and therefore the veils and amnesia we experience play a significant role in re-implementing the distortions back into our consciousness. I say you can even become re-implanted simply by falling unconscious for a small period of time and exposing yourself to others carrying the implants. Hence why attaining full knowledge of the seal systems is a fundamental aspect of maintaining full sovereignty of your universal tree of life, consciousness and soul, meridian lines, axial tonal lines, spirit body, and organs. And so I hope to see you guys at the course. There's so much we're going to be learning. It's going to be a real deep dive. I cannot wait to share it. I look forward to joining you on this new adventure and mass healing container. And so I hope everyone is having a beautiful rest of your day. I hope that these messages today made a difference for somebody. And I will be back. I think I'm doing an interview with Typical Skeptic podcast tomorrow. So I look forward to tuning in with Rob. And I hope everyone has a beautiful and cosmically blessed day.